Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. So this one's called Empowering Our Kids Today. And is that you standing in a classroom? That is you, or that's somebody else?
I'm at a library. Actually, no, I'm at a school, an elementary school. Yeah, that was
Okay.
before COVID.
Right. So yeah, clearly. So the photo is in a kind of a classroom. It's very fun. So there's like,
It's actually a library.
oh, it's a library. Okay.
Yeah.
Open space. A whole bunch of kids who look like between the ages of say 4 and 7, I guess 5. I don't know. It's there.
Yes.
So you're standing there. You're gesturing with a book in your right hand, and you're gesturing with your left. All the kids are seated very nicely, all facing you. Hands are up in the air because they're either answering something or they want to interject with something. So empowering our kids now. So please do tell.
Well, so that goes along with, I guess, the passions of being an author, a children's author, is, getting that time with children to talk to them, read to them. I read a couple of times last week. It was Dr. Seuss Across America Week. So I was at a couple of different schools reading to younger children and elementary age. And I always like doing that. I love it. I've been
Mm-hmm.
a reader of books with my own kids. And 22 years ago, because I became a mother 22 years ago. But,
Mm-hmm.
from the very beginning with my oldest, books and reading and teaching just was something I started from that long ago. And
Okay.
knowing that there's an opportunity when you're reading to educate a child as well, even if it's just the
For
simple
sure.
things, like counting the hearts on a page or the bubbles or whatever it is, or going through colors or, just that reinforcement for them and learning. But so that's one of my favorite things to do. And that's, you ask for passions and what's close to our heart. And, talking to kids, writing books, reading to children, and asking questions, and getting their little
Mm.
brains going is a lot
Yep.
of fun.
Yep.
We had fun last week talking all about Dr. Seuss and why does he rhyme and why does he make up all these silly characters? And
Hmm.
that's one of my favorite children's authors, of course, but because I like to make up funny words and like to,
Yeah.
teaching children through laughter is such a great way to impact them because they always listen, and learn better that way.
One of the sort of the core sort of the spirit of this podcast, shooting it raw, is to inspire people with this idea that life is a gift. How do we
Mhm.
make every second count? And by focusing or for highlighting how different people spend their time, maybe somebody who's listening will be like, oh, okay, that they'll kind of hear themselves in that. So where did writing, and particularly writing for children, where did that come from? Of course, the easy answer is, oh, well, I had kids and I wanted to make up stories for them. That's pretty straightforward. But what about the creative aesthetic? What's behind a few layers down of the motivation of why you're an author?
Mm. Well, I started out, I've been writing poetry my whole life. So
Okay.
poetry is the direction I thought I would be going in if I ever got published, right?
Right.
So I was, my late in life son came at 44, 45. Complete surprise, right?
Mm.
And there was a lot of trouble in my pregnancy with him near the end, and he almost didn't survive, and I almost didn't survive.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of one of those stories where, there's that kind of element to it.
Sure.
And I was sitting there, and writing was the furthest thing from my mind. I was nursing him, and he was probably 4 or 5 months old. And I was sitting on the sofa and just sitting in this space of immense gratitude for being alive and for
Mm.
him
Oh,
surviving. And
nice.
it's just like it's almost like I've only ever felt being in the zone like that a couple times in my life, where it's just all
Right.
consuming, right? And that's all you can feel and think. And in those moments that I was sitting there, the manuscript for my first book came as a download. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
just like
Oh, wow.
out of
It just
the
emerged.
ethers.
Yeah.
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 And so I finished nursing him, and I grabbed a notebook and I wrote it down, and I kind of tried to focus on, what those words were I heard, and I wrote the whole thing, and I was like, wow. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I like that. Where did that come from? Because I mean,
Amazing.
I was not
Amazing.
in a, I know I was not in a space of writing at all. I wasn't even trying to write or get published or anything at that point. I was trying to recover from a
Right.
very serious situation. So I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in a little notebook and I'm going to give it to him when he's older. Maybe I'll write some more stories. Just give it to him when he's older. And so that would have been 2013. And so for the next year and a half, almost 2 years, every once in a while, I'd feel this tapping on my shoulder that would say, you need to do something with that story. And I
Uh-huh.
was like,
Uh-huh.
what am I going to do? I mean, I have no clue what to do with this, right?
I
Nobody's going to
love
want to
it.
read what I write.
I love it.
So, and this is really how everything unfolded. And so
That's great.
finally I went to the headmaster at the school where my girls were going because they were in Christian school, private Christian school at that time. And I was like, he was academically published. So naively, right? I've learned so
Mm.
much since then,
Mm.
right? But naively, I thought, oh, he'll know what to do, or he could
Okay.
just give me some feedback. And so I went to him and he was like, he didn't get what I was coming across, that
Right.
every child is perfectly made and we need to love them the way they come into this world. And some of that came from the way Carson was coming into this world.
Of course. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we were prepared for brain damage and he wouldn't walk and he's a living
Oh,
miracle.
wow.
So I usually
Wow.
call my kids miracles because I was told I could never have children. So,
Uh-huh.
so he said, I want to introduce you to somebody. And this is when I believe in life the divine experiences open up when you completely
Right.
surrender to what you're supposed to be doing in your life.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so the doors just started opening. So he introduced me to Thornton Klein. He'd already had like 7 books published, I guess, at that point. We sat down and I showed him everything I had written during that period of time. It was a very short period of time that all this stuff just started flowing out. And
Mm-hmm.
it was funny
Mm-hmm.
because everything rhymed. I was like, why? I can't stop rhyming. I can't even stop talking in rhyme. It was really funny, actually. I was like,
That's amazing.
I know. And so I just wrote all this stuff. And he goes, I really like this one right here. I really like this. He said, can I write 10 songs for this book? I went,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
sure.
Amazing.
Okay, so cool. So he wrote them in a week, and they
Oh,
were
wow.
10 little songs that are like 30 seconds long. So precious, very, just innocent and lullaby-ish, just so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. And my girls ended up recording the song, so we have it on CD. And then the next thing I knew, we were sending off to find a publisher, and so we were got a contract in. So we met in 2015, had a contract by August of 2016, or something like that, October, and then we were published 2017, February 9th.
Amazing.
And
What's the title of the book?
oh, okay, I'm going to show you the cover just so you can see it. Okay, there's
This is
3 of
this is
them
a
in here. So when
podcast.
I know, but I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to show you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, so this is one of those I made up the words, okay?
Okay.
So can you see
Uh,
that? Can you see that?
perfectly. No, you have to move it over one
Precious.
second.
Okay.
Perfectly precious. Poolicious.
Poolicious.
Poolicious?
Yes.
Poolicious. Perfectly
Yes.
precious.
Yes.
Poolicious. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
My first degree was in creative writing, and my
Okay,
specialization
cool.
was poetry, right? So
Nice. So we're kindred spirits here.
yes, yes, poolicious all the way.
I know, right? Yeah, and I know that's
Love
what
it.
one of the things when I'm reading to kids, I'm like, okay, so we're going to have a moment. We're going to talk about silly words because look at this crazy word I came up with,
Okay.
and so the 3 titles are that was the first one, and then there's Poolicious, Look at Me, and then there's Poolicious, Oh, the Wonder of Me, because it's about the
Okay.
wonder of being 4, 5, 6, and you like you have things that don't match, like maybe your toes are
Yeah.
funky, you have big ears, or you wear your clothes inside out, but you're still
Yep.
perfectly made, you're still
Absolutely.
amazing.
I
Yeah,
love it.
so yeah, I love that.
Okay, so this is less of a presentation and more of an exchange, right? So we're just talking and we're just riffing, and you go through this very traumatic, scary experience, and you come out of it, and our brains are incredible. And yet we have these experiences happen to us, and you sleep on them. And certainly the first 3 or 4 months of a newborn are just so brutal, and it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
And then once you come out of it, and you're having a quiet moment, and it's like you've been through, first of all, you've been through the near death, the shared near death experience of both you and your son, and then you've both survived. And after the third or fourth month, by the fourth month that you're sitting there nursing him, and you're just having this connection, and you're just like, hey, wait a second, we're going to be okay. And then what emerges is, as you say, is all of a sudden it's like, it's like something in your subconscious said, okay, this is how it has to be expressed, right?
Yeah.
What you don't know is, my wife and I were in a near death experience as well, and how I came to interpret it, or how I was able to wrap my head around it, was to actually put it into words. And in a way, even though what you wrote is simple language, it's actually extremely complex. So this Poolicious book is actually an amazing snapshot of that time. It's like an artifact of your brain that you've shared with the world, and it's quite amazing.
That's a beautiful description. A snapshot of your world and mind. I love that hashtag, right? That is so beautiful. I mean, it's just that was a really beautiful way to put it. I've never ever thought of it that way before. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that, okay, so somebody who's been in 3 near-death experiences, people like, and
You
in a way, the
have?
podcast. Yes, yes, yes. I'll tell you about them some
Wow.
other time.
Okay, I want to hear him. I want to hear him.
Okay. But the thing that really lasts and it saturates the podcast is this idea of like making every second count. It's basically gratitude and thankfulness, right?
Mhm.
Like every day is a gift. And that gratitude, I can totally, so when you're talking, and I could see in your face, and I could hear in your voice, talking about that gratitude of actually having a quiet moment with your son, that you guys, I mean, you went through such hell or difficulty or
It was scary.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you. I hear you. Now, how do we connect that to the image of you sitting in front of a classroom empowering our kids now?
Hmm. That's about that's about children need to understand that however they come into this world, however the world may view you as broken, you are not broken and you are
Oh,
okay.
beautiful.
And that's
Oh, you're
how
amazing.
the connection is. Oh, thank you.
Mm.
I'm going to tear up. I'm going to tear up about it.
Um,
I'm going to try not to here, but
it's talking to me in the morning. Nobody should have to do so. I am sorry about that, but
no,
thank you
no.
for,
Listen,
for
I have a show.
sharing.
No, I have a show in an hour, so we are
Oh
good.
wow.
We are
Okay, I
good.
love
We
it.
are good. So yeah, I mean, I was like, this is okay. And my producer lives in Cape Town, South Africa, so we're
Okay.
very different time zones, like you and I
Yeah.
are. So I'm used to that.
Okay. Shall we move on to the next image? It goes by very
Yeah.
quickly, doesn't it?
I know. Well, see, and I only do half an hour that goes by so quickly. And this is going by so quickly because, there's usually so much to talk about, isn't there?
Well, because you live in your own shoes. You're habituated, and then it's like it's the normalcy of just how you see things. But then you're kind of like an extreme sports person that you're welcoming me into your world, and it's like, and you write these books. I could do this all day long. I love it.
Oh, me too. I love talking to people, and that's why, like, I'm thinking I want to talk to you. I want to find out your background too, because I interview folks, and so I love to know what inspires somebody, what motivates you, how did you get where you are? Because everybody has a unique story.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.